He is vengeance. He is the night. He is...
You know the rest. Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 best and worst Batman games. For this list, we're taking a look at a handful of great and terrible titles starring the Dark Knight. I'm Todd Haberkorn, and I'm convinced I have Batman DNA. I mean, who else would watch Batman and Robin multiple times? I'm not saying I liked it at all, but I felt an otherworldly compulsion to explore the deeper meanings of the film, specifically rubber lips.
Let's get ready to mojo!
Not so tight, boys. You'll crease the suit.
Get that filthy degenerate out of here.
Number 5, worst. Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker. For a long time, superhero games were stuck in the beat-em-up genre, relying on the same standard designs that had made them tolerable, for the most part. However, this little number was a sign of the times. The entire experience was mind-numbing thanks to its bland environments, uninspired level design, and abysmal controls. In other words, it was a total snooze fest that got mildly annoying. I'll take 2. It may not have been the absolute worst in the Cape Crusaders Rogues Gallery, but whew, Batman Beyond deserved better than this cow pie of a 64-bit title. Number 5, best. Batman, the video game. Hard to believe there was a better Batman game that was released decades before the wave of mediocrity hit the gaming population. This was a huge achievement, especially for a licensed game. Boasting some of the most detailed visuals on the NES, Batman was considered by critics to be the best superhero game on the console, citing its level design, inclusion of villains outside of the '89 flick, and challenging difficulty. Considering most licensed games were awful back then, Batman was a diamond in the rough. Ah yes, the purple Batman suit. Now if only Nintendo could put it on the Switch Online service. Wink. Number 4, worst. Ah, damn it. Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate? No spoilers, please. I haven't played it yet. Next to Arkham Knight's PC launch, this was probably the biggest misstep in the Arkham franchise's history.
See him!
Sold as a companion game to Arkham Origins, I've played that one. Blackgate was a side-scrolling action game taking place in Blackgate Prison. As interesting as this concept was, the game was unbelievably shoddy. Really? Navigation was beyond grueling, enemies could often kill Batman in one hit, and the loading times were unbearably long.
Epic fan!
Oh, and if you bought this on the PlayStation Vita, me, or Nintendo 3DS, not me, you were in for one hell of a bad day. Oh.
This ends here.
What kind of girl do you think I am? Because chances are, you're right.
Number 4, best. Lego Batman 2, DC Superheroes. Adding it to my playlist.
Who has been there for you? One man who has made it his mission to improve the lives of people around him.
As much as we love Batman and all of his gritty, edgy flair, it's nice to see the kid-friendly version pop out every once in a while. That's why we have the Lego games and Lego Batman 2.
It's more than deserving to be on this list, old chum.
In addition to a well-written story, massive open world, and expansive character roster, this sequel was a milestone for the Lego games. Not only was it the first Batman game that featured good old Troy Baker as the voice of the Dark Knight, it was also the first Lego game from Traveler's Tales to be dialogue-driven.
You're not sorry. You're not not sorry at all.
It just goes to show that games for all ages can still shine.
Did you hear the one about the guy who dresses up as a bat? It's got a terrific punchline!
Number 3, worst. I'll agree. Batman Dark Tomorrow. The list of things wrong with this particular tomorrow is longer than the list of people Joker has killed. Wow, that's a long list, dang. Okay, maybe that's stretching it a bit, but still, this is one of the most appalling superhero games ever released. All due to its abnormal control scheme and tedious gameplay and, oh my god, the camera. Holy bat nipples, the camera! As if things couldn't get any worse, the game features some of the worst endings in gaming. Tell us, how do you expect gamers to achieve the good ending when you provide no context or direction on how you might be able to get it? Alfred, fire up the Bat computer.
Right away, sir.
If only, beloved, if only.
Number 3 best, The Adventures of Batman and Robin, yes! You know, in hindsight, Batman has been a real pioneer in superhero video games. While his NES outing blew everything out of the water, this title would go on to see its own success. While the Sega CD, Genesis, and Game Gear versions received scathing reviews, critics agreed that the SNES version was superior due to its exceptional sprite animation, fantastic sound and music, along with its impressively detailed visuals. It does have a few minor flaws. The fact that it doesn't have a sequel. Just a little Cape Crusader humor. But that didn't stop us from picking it up. If only Robin had a bigger role. This could have been an amazing 2-player experience. Number 2, worst. Batman Forever. Riddle me this! What mediocre movie was adapted into a game that featured uninspired backgrounds, boring combat, and Jim Carrey? The answer? Batman Forever. Whereas Batman and Robin maintained a superior version, both the SNES and Sega Genesis versions of its predecessor were appalling. Critics condemned both versions for their lack of interesting visuals, sluggish combat, and horrendous controls. The only praise given were the use of digitalized actors, but even then it brought out the game's worst qualities. Well, I mean, at least we have Jim Carrey in a video game. Kind of. Number 2 best. Lego Batman, the video game. After the success of the LEGO Star Wars games, Traveler's Tales needed to prove that they could do other licensed properties justice. Fortunately, LEGO Batman, the video game, showed that the studio had potential. Not only was this a new license for them to work on, but it was a game that gave them room to create an original story and experiment with new designs and mechanics that we'd see polished in future franchise installments. The combat and level design was proof that Traveler's Tales had the passion and talent, with LEGO's Batman's huge success serving as a springboard for future adventures with the Cape Crusader. Number 1, worst. Batman, Rise of Sinzu.
Punks. Crime Alley is full of them. I'll teach them a lesson.
What makes this game the biggest blight on Batman's name since the Bat credit card? Think of it like this. Take all of the qualities of the terrible Batman games we've discussed, throw them into a blender, blend them up, toss them into the oven at 425, let it cook for 30 minutes, and then cool for 10. When you've finished, you've got this forgettable failure. The gameplay is ungodly repetitive. The combat is dull and lifeless, and the graphics are a mess, even by early 2000s standards.
Good. I feel my strength returning.
Not even the story or original villain were enough to save this game, with Shinzu never being used again, forever buried with his one and only appearance. But you know it's the Batman universe. He's probably hanging out in line waiting to jump into that Lazarus pit.
Two great commanders facing each other on an empty battlefield.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1, best. You know what it is. Come on, say it with me now. Batman Arkham series. Before we hopped into the madhouse, superhero games had a terrible reputation.
Hey, Sharpie. Love what you've done with the place.
They were so infamous, in fact, that many felt the first Arkham game was on track to be mediocre at best. Boy, were they wrong. They were as wrong as Christian Bale's Batman voice. Batman Arkham Asylum showed the world it was possible to make a good superhero game and not have it be another standard beat-em-up. And the rest is history.
He's here!
The Arkham franchise became famous for its engaging stories, imaginative environments, deep combat mechanics, and a firm understanding of what made the Dark Knight so captivating. Asylum, City, Night, even Origins, to a lesser extent, all proved that few can match the Bat in the gaming sphere.
What the hell happened in there? Batman! What happened?
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.